I want you to make me some milk. How you gonna do it? Yo, how you gonna do it?
I'm gonna go to. I don't know how to make milk. I'm gonna probably go to the store.
No, from nothing. From nothing.
What?
From nothing.
For no money?
No, from nothing. You've got nothing to work with. Just make some milk from nothing.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because I don't know how.
How would you make honey from nothing?
You wouldn't.
I mean, it has to come from something.
Has to come from something.
Where's the honey come from?
Bees.
Okay, how would you make a bee from nothing?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No.
But that's what you're telling me with atheism, that the bee came from nothing.
Well, the bee evolved from something, right?
So evolved from something? Who made the something?
I have no idea.
So something made the something.
Not necessarily. I mean,
It was nothing that made the something.
probably, I don't know. Ice Age?
Okay, I'll make it easy for you. I want you to make some honey. You're not allowed bees, okay? Just start from nothing and make some honey.
Okay, I don't
Think
know
you can
how.
do it?
No,
You couldn't make milk or honey?
I don't think I could.
So you're saying someone more intelligent than you must have made the milk and the honey.
I think an animal probably make the milk and the honey.
Someone's got to make the animal. They can make the milk and honey. What's that?
Made themselves.
Animals made themselves? So animals are cleverer than you. Can you make a cow? Is this making sense to you?
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I think it all evolved eventually.
From what?
Back from the dinosaurs.
But where the dinosaurs come? Who made the dinosaurs?
I don't know, Big Bang Theory?
So who made the material for the Big Bang? You've got to have material for a bang.
Nah, I don't know, it just came.
From where?
Who knows?
Gases in space.
Who made the gases?
Man, you're confusing. I don't know.
Can you make a bee? Because if you can make a bee, you can make the honey. If you can make a cow, you can make the milk.
I don't find your logic compelling.
It's sensible though. If you're an intelligent being and you can't make a cow or a bee that can make milk and honey, obviously someone more intelligent than you created the cow and the bee. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. I don't think there's like a logical corration between those two steps.
What do you think is making sense? What I just said?
I mean, it makes sense. Nature created these animals.
Nature, evolution made itself. So, do you believe in the theory of evolution?
I do.
Do you believe man evolved from apes?
Yeah, because of biological evidence, I believe that.
Could you be specific about the evidence?
How the planet Earth evolved from heavy particles and matter coming together, and then slowly as it cooled off, single-cell life forms developed in the ocean, and then slowly they evolved into multi-celled organisms, and then eventually into humans.
Did they come out of the sea?
Yeah.
So you think we lived under the water?
It's possible at some point.
When we were under the water, do you think we had lungs or gills? Because I'm trying to think, here is this sort of animal who's coming out of the ocean without lungs. So he comes out with gills, goes, runs back to water and just keeps coming out until lungs develop?
Yeah.
Wow. So do you think we could have evolved from horses?
Sure.
This animal that came out without lungs and breathed and went back in, was he male or female?
I don't know. He could have been a hermaphrodite.
He was male and female?
Yeah, probably.
And he was alone?
I don't know, could have been.
So he could have been alone?
Could have been alone.
So how did he reproduce?
I don't know. Asexually.
He split in two?
He could have.
Yeah. And this is the evidence that this teacher gave you?
His was a lot more in depth, but I don't remember it all. Sorry.
Do you think God had anything to do with this?
That's an area I have never explored, but it's hard not to believe that sometimes.
What do you think happens when somebody dies?
I think they just die, and I think that there's no place they go to. I think they just sit in the ground and the bugs come and that's it.
You believe there's no God, right?
Right.
Okay, so let me ask you, if you were to, say, make a cow, how would you start? What would you do? How would you make a cow?
Make a cow?
Yeah. You don't get to start with leather, right? Because that's where the cow comes in. So how would you start?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
As an atheist myself, for a lot of years, I kind of said, well, hey, look, I'm having a great time in my life, frankly. And I'm not going to join all these religious nuts and start believing in fairy tales. But one day I started thinking about the fact that, okay, if I die and I find out that there is a God, I'd really want to know before I die, so God, is there any way that you could give me some clues? Maybe I'm just looking at the glass half empty instead of half full. And when you think about stuff like Jeff, I don't know how I'd begin to make a Jeff. I can't start with eyes or ears, and if I were to make his vascular system, do I start by making a heart or the blood or the veins? And if we all evolved, which one came first? Because none of the others can even have a function if they're not all three there at the same time.
Right.
So if there's a God, and he's good, and he sees all things and he's all powerful, do you think he would see you as a good person?
I do.
I know that there's a God. I don't know Jeff well enough, but I would tell you that I know there's a God because I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm standing here, and I think you know that there's a God. Deep down in your heart, you put your head on the pillow and you kind of go, is this all there is? Does my life really have no meaning or purpose other than to just sort of be bug food in about 50 years when I die and have a good time while I'm here? What scares you most in life?
What scares me most in
What's
life?
the most frightening thought you can think of?
Maybe not having the freedom to believe what I want or do what I want.
Can I tell you why I think that you deny God? Here's why I think, and I don't know you at all, but I think I have a little bit of an insight into your heart because I used to be an atheist. I think that the freedom to believe and live the way that you want is so important to you that the thought of someone being in charge of this whole thing and having a standard that he's going to hold you accountable to is just way too much for you to want to submit yourself to, because that means it might put a wet blanket on some of the things that you want to do. Could that be true?